people who buy the cars, they feel good about themselves and they feel like they're bettering the economy or the environment, and it kind of puts them in this like social class where they fit in with other Tesla owners or electric vehicle owners. And Tesla also reaches the life-changing dimension of value because of the autonomous driving aspect, and there's a level of self-actualization that some consumers feel by purchasing and owning a Tesla. And we have come to the consensus that Tesla does not reach a spiritual dimension of value. So the last thing I'm going to be talking about is the strategic fit. And in order to understand strategic fit, you need to understand three levels, and their three levels are basic consistency, reinforcement, and optimization. So basic consistency is where each activity is aligned with the customer value proposition, and these activities all have to complement each other. Second is reinforcement. The value of the activities that happen internally should raise the level of the other activities that happen within the company. And the third is going to be the optimization of effort. So this is going to be to reduce waste and be as efficient as possible in your company's operations. And the strategic fit for Tesla is just what we talked about earlier with their strategy is the differentiation. So Tesla sets themselves apart with their innovative technology, and they embody the strategy of being different than the rest of the cars on the market.
So I'm going to get into the SWOT analysis, and SWOT obviously stands for strengths, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities. When getting into some of Tesla's key core things on their SWOT analysis, their leadership is very big, as Elon Musk does a great job with Tesla and promoting Tesla, and I think that's why a lot of consumers want to purchase Tesla cars, because Elon promotes his stuff so well, but he doesn't promote it through ads, which saves him a lot of money. Another one that they have that's very obvious is their innovation, which was touched on a little bit earlier, and how they were the first to the game with their innovation. Another big core opportunity for them is their environment, as we also touched on earlier, as that's kind of what they promote their brand around, and being environmentally friendly and trying to make a cleaner environment. Getting into the strategic things, their facilities is a big strength for them, as they get to do a lot of in-house products and their own lines in their facilities, and they don't have to use as many suppliers. Their intellectual property is big for them, as goes back to their leadership, that Elon's done a great job, and he's gotten tons of intellectual property there for them to make their own things in their facilities. I would say social is a big opportunity for them in their strategic category, because socially they have reached tons of demographics, and they're selling, I think they're the number two seller in all of China right now, and they're also reaching other countries. Um, Getting into the enablers, financial strength is a big enabler for Tesla, as it allows them to do everything within their company. And going back to their leadership, Elon does not waste any money on ads, and instead puts it all into his innovation and his products. So that's a big financial strength, because he still has a very high demand for all of his electric vehicles. Their supply chain is a weakness for Tesla, as Ian mentioned earlier, because of their vertical integration and how fast it's taken off. Their supply chain has lacked because of how high their demand is. And so it's hard for them to get all these electric vehicles out and to their consumers quickly. One of their threats would be their legal awareness team. Elon has a ton of patents, but there's always going to be issues when you have things such as autonomous driving, and being the first one to that, there can always be issues, and even just consumers that are scared to purchase these things because of the legal issues, and not wanting to get in trouble with that with their company. So getting into some of their relationships within the same quadrant and across the same quadrant in this SWOT analysis. Um, Within the same quadrant, some of these relationships kind of go together to all make the same goal. So one I'll hit on is the innovation and how their innovation has allowed them to use their facilities and intellectual property. And this creates their financial strength because, as I said earlier, they don't have to go out and buy suppliers and they can use their self for their main source and use these facilities and property to build their own in-house products. One of their bad things within the same quadrant would be their political to progressive technology. So because of these trade barriers, it can make it hard for Tesla to export their new products. And getting into things that kind of coincide together that are strengths and weaknesses, but go across the quadrant would be their leadership to progressive technology. So for Tesla, their leadership sets the tone for their technological advancements. And Elon really pushes this as he's a very hands-on leader himself. And I don't think that they would be in the situation they're in now currently without Elon. Their progressive technology is what drives the ability to reach new demographics because without without how great they've progressed their technology, people from all over the country wouldn't know for one or even think about buying. And, do you want to get into this, Brett?
Yeah, so more into the competitor analysis. Since Ford is recovering from having a bad strategy, so they had to deal with the strike that impacted them negatively, and it impacted them more than just financially. And so it caused Ford to reestablish who they were, and try to make a new brand image. And they're similar to Tesla that they both centered around leadership. The new CEO of Ford has really decided to turn Ford towards an electric company. Um, and so there was a notable economic impact due to the strike. The stock price of Ford plummeted and they lost a lot of revenue. Um, so they had to pay out higher wages as a part of the resolution to it. And the focus on new technology and innovation in Ford has led to kind of the rebranding and image of Ford and who they are. And so that's kind of their comparison to Tesla. We go to the next slide. And so with Ford, a big thing that they tried to focus on was transforming their brand and their business and who they are. But just in that same vein of what we just talked about, they're just kind of changing their mission as a business to something more electric and kind of future based. But I think that's about all that we have to talk about. I want to thank Ben for being on this call. Um, and yeah, Ben, if you have any feedback, if you got anything to say.
Yeah, no, that was super in depth. That was super good. You guys hit, I mean, all of the major points in um like running a business and every side of that, whether it's strategic, like their brand, or if it's their product selling all over, and even dove into the competition, which is a side of business a lot of people don't think about, is you have to be reactive to what competition is doing. So yeah, you guys did a great job. It was very in depth. Yeah, you guys did a good job.
Well, thank you so much.